Good evening.
Hi.
Hello, Luna. And hello, everyone watching. Welcome to the third episode of Luna and the Druid. I'm the Druid. My name is Jan, and I'm hosting the show together with Luna. And today, it's all about Glastonbury, also known as Avalon, the mystical island of Avalon. How's that, Luna?
I am very excited because I'm a big Glastonbury fan. I just love, since the first time I went there, I just love Glastonbury. So today's episode is very, very exciting to me. And I can't believe we're already on episode 3. It's been a week. Time flies, doesn't it?
It is, it is. It really flies. Well, Avalon, Glastonbury. The official name of the town in Somerset, in England, is Glastonbury, but we also name it Avalon. That's because of the Tor, which is a big mountain just outside the town village with a big tower on top of it. And when you see it in a hazy, misty morning, and even maybe in the old days when there were marshlands around it, it looks like an island. And the island, a mythical island, a mystical island, the island of Avalon. It's been known as Avalon for God knows how long. Uh, we think forever, but the biggest time we came aware of it would have been in the days after the Romans had left what is now England. They left a place behind in turmoil, no government, and we call it the Dark Ages. And in the Dark Ages, a legendary king arose, King Arthur, and his castle was Camelot, but his priesthood place, the place of their religion, of their pagan religion, the what we now call the Rome of the pagans, was Avalon, was Glastonbury. That's where the priestesses of the goddesses lived and practiced practiced their pagan beliefs and uh, lived with the wheel of the year and nature and their wisdom and sharing. And there was a cult, a priestess cult, where they trained novices and later monks to to become clergy and to become the important people. And the Druids were educated there. Druids lived there at that time. It was a center of spirituality, and that remained so when Christianity took over. And one of the first things they did very early on already was build an abbey there. And we can still see the remains of the abbey there. And then going back to the time uh, when this Avalon myth was created, the time of King Arthur, and in 1191 the monks believed to have found the remains of King Arthur and his Queen Guinevere. So it became already by then a pilgrimage site, a site where people went to for spirituality and to honor their legendary king. And some people say King Arthur never lived, he's just a man of legend. And some people say the monks made it up because they needed some you know they needed a bit of promotion for their abbey, people to come there. Nowadays we can just say we have an ancestor, a spiritual ancestor, in the person of King Arthur, the war chief, the first man who reunited all the Celtic people in Britain in the Dark Ages, a united kingdom, avant la lettre, and he united them. And we now have a pilgrimage site for this legendary king up there. So that's how Avalon and Glastonbury became famous and still are famous. And
Thank you for sharing this story. Believe it or not, I didn't know that part about Glastonbury. So for me, I'm just listening to it with my eyes wide open, because that's uh, fascinating. Your knowledge and how much you know about this place.
well, I became a druid because of the Arthurian legends. In the 80s, I read the now famous book, The Mists of Avalon. So that's when the concept of Avalon came to me. And The Mists of Avalon is a very interesting book. I don't know if you have read it, but it tells the story of the Arthurian legend, but now in a more modern, or at that time in a more modern environment, from the perspective of the women who make the story.
Unfortunately, I haven't read the book, but you mentioned it second time, so perhaps that's something I should look into.
That's not a bad idea, actually. In the over the years, and especially when you go to Glastonbury and you meet people there in the street or the shops, and you ask them how did you become a druid, how did you become an Avalonian, and everybody's, I think in the 40 years I must have met 200-300 people who said this was the book that put me on my path.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. And it's 1,000 pages thick, so it's a big read. I managed the first time to not lay it down, so I finished it in 3 days. That's how
Three days,
yeah, that's how
1,000 pages.
it grabbed me. I couldn't stop. I had breakfast, and while I had breakfast, I was already reading until till I needed to sleep, and the next day again and again, and boom, and yeah, like I said, it put me on the druid path. I immediately afterwards started searching for druids, found the order of Bards, and Druids, and became one years and years ago. And we'll
I
talk
couldn't
about
think of a better recommendation.
yeah, we talk about the Druids later. But you, Luna, can you share some experiences and memories of Avalon or Glastonbury? How many times have you been there, for instance?
Believe it or not, my first time in Glastonbury was 1.5 years ago, when I went just after the Lionsgate, which is on the 8th of August 2020. It was a full moon. Uh, it was a day or 2 days after the portal, the Lionsgate portal, so the energy was super strong. And I didn't know much about Glastonbury back then. As a teenager, I came across Glastonbury knowing that it's a witchy town, and that's all I knew. So when the first time I went there, I just went into a different magical world. And since then, I can't stop going there. It's just, for me, it's like a mecca to go and visit to my soul. Uh, I don't have that background connecting me to history of Druids, of kings, the kings. For me, it's a place where I just feel free. The energy over there is so strong. There is something about the land itself, being close to the Stonehenge, uh, with the energy of a Thor, with the energy of Chalice Well. There's something super, super magical about it. And obviously, lovely people, so many interesting individuals. I just loved it. And I've been there 4, maybe 5 times since 1.5 years. So that's pretty well, I think. Knowing the fact that I live and you yourself live in Ireland and Glastonbury is in UK. I've been there almost in every part of the year. I mean, spring, summer, winter, and autumn. And the most significant, every visit was special, but the most significant one was the first one when we actually went to Tor. There was a gathering of people drumming, and I could observe Luna rising in a full moon. I remember she was red, and it was such a deep color, and it made such an impression on me that since then going to Tor is an absolute must. And you know yourself that it's not an easy journey to climb up that mountain and that hill, because it's pretty strong. For those who've never been to Glastonbury, I have a card actually which shows a little bit that mountain and the Tor itself. Unfortunately, my camera is not focusing on it. Not sure why. Okay, maybe. Oh, there it is. There it is. So it's a high hill with a beautiful tower up. Some say that actually, hello, my camera. There it is, focused again. Some say that under the Tor, and I'm actually curious to what is your belief about it. But some say that under the Tor itself, a holy grail is being buried. Did you ever hear about it? And what is your insight on that?
There's many stories about what's under the Tor. When you look at aerial pictures, you can see some kind of a labyrinth going up, and so what I've been told is that underneath the labyrinth, you can see the pathways. Normally, you just walk straight up, but if you look, there's terraces and everything there, and there is. I truly believe that there must be something underneath, like tunnels or whatever, and it could even be that the Holy Grail is hidden there. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Well, one question. So when you go there, are you going on your own, or is there a purposeful group that you meet there? People you know, probably.
Usually I go with my soul sisters. It's usually a private trip just to honor the energy of Glastonbury. My favorite place, apart from Tor, is the Goddess Temple, Goddess of Avalon. Even if I said the name Goddess of Avalon, my body went through such a shivering because I feel the energy already. It's a beautiful space of contemplation where you can go and meditate, set intentions for healing, and just be and bathe yourself in this beautiful energy. And the most significant experience I had there was when I was grieving my doggy who passed away. And in my meditation, I met my doggy again. And I knew that it was time for me to let her go, because I was holding on to her soul because we were so close that I just didn't want to let her go. But I felt it's the time. So in this meditation, I saw her, and I saw like a beautiful door. So we walked towards that door, and I knew that it was time to say goodbye. So I did. And then the most beautiful and profound thing happened. She turned into the most beautiful beam of light. And then this light turned into an amazing angel, which I knew she was. And for me, up to this day, that will be probably my most favorite memory from Glastonbury, among of so many others. One time we went there to celebrate my dearest cousin and my best friend 40th birthday. We went to have a ceremony which was absolutely powerful with one of the high priestess from Glastonbury. That was an amazing time as well. Yes, so oh my goodness, I could talk about memories from there. Yes, but those two or those three, that Luna rising, that ceremony we had, and then the meditation in Goddess Temple would be my three favorite. Not mention obviously the shops, which I should be forbidden of going into because it's like a portal to a different world that I get easily lost in. And obviously every time I go there, I have to bring some deck of cards with me. Um, because Glastonbury is just a place to go. It's like a mecca for spiritual people. And what I mean by spiritual people is people who are connected with the energy itself. There is also Chalice Well with the beautiful feminine energy. There is a masculine chalice as well, which not many people know about actually. So Glastonbury has so much to offer for everyone, and not just druids, not just people who are into magic, but just everyone can go there and just enjoy the beauty of it. One time I also went, it was actually Halloween. So there was a lot of going on. There was a beautiful parade with people dressed with, amazing, great memories. What about you, Jan? Tell me more. I know that you've been recently to Glastonbury, so I can't wait to hear all your stories from there.
Yes, indeed. Well, here we have Glastonbury, the shopping street, an artist impression. And I can tell you, this is where I walked yesterday morning. I was there the last weekend,
Jan,
for the whole weekend.
just to let you know, there it is. There it is. Thank you. I couldn't see, but now it's on the screen. Oh, yes.
Okay. I had, like you went with your sisters, I went with my brothers and sisters. We had a gathering of 300 druids. I'll tell you about that later. But first I'll tell you what we did in the day off, because we went a day before the event so we could enjoy Glastonbury for a while. And of course, we went on the tour. Here it is, the Glastonbury tour. You can see the terraces, you can see the tower on top. You can imagine that when it's in the mist, it is an island. It is Avalon. A beautiful, mythical, spiritual place. And we didn't go to Chalicewell this time. You told me about Chalicewell now. But we went to the White Spring, which is next to Chalicewell and also at the bottom of the tour. And we went in.
White Spring.
White Spring, next to the Chalicewell.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Exactly. That's the masculine kind of. They say that the Chalice Well is the feminine energy, and the White Spring is the masculine energy.
Yeah, you're right with that. And just like you say, in the Chalice Well, there is a masculine place and a feminine place. The same goes for the White Spring, because next to the entrance, there is a small cave, as you can see on the right here, with a lamp in the middle, and in at the entrance here is a statue of the goddess. So this is the feminine part of the White Spring.
Wow, that's amazing. I've never been inside actually, because every time I got there, it was closed, unfortunately, which is super exciting because there is another thing to discover for the next trip. There is another reason to go there.
Exactly. But here,
it's beautiful.
Look, on the other side of the White Spring, there's a cave with Carnunos and the candles.
Wow.
And I sat here meditating, dreaming, finding myself back, my masculinity, my inner masculinity, and being with the spirit of the wild god, the wild masculine power. So the whole White Spring is about this. It's about the feminine and the masculine, and people are bathing there. So they come there, they jump in the big pool there, and it's a really nice energy, and definitely something you should do the next time you're there. It doesn't open early. We had to wait till I think 1:30 to get there, but it was really lovely. Then
just checking if the camera will. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, later that Friday, That was nice because you told me you had a drum ceremony there as well. We had the one Friday at 9 p.m. in the dark. And you might have known that last Friday was a very, very cold day. And this is us at the foot of the Tor taking a picture up. The moon is still behind behind the mountain. The moon is still behind the island of Avalon. And we were climbing up the 300 somewhat steps, half an hour walk up the hill in the dark, in the cold, but it was really, really lovely. Then we came up on the Tor, and the moon was out. The moon showed himself next to the Tor, next to the tower. But that was an illusion because we weren't walking straight ahead of the tower. But after a bend, we saw that the moon that night aligned with the tower. The Druid standing in the moonlight, aligning with, it's no longer the full moon, it was 3-4 days after the full moon, but still, there it was. And here you have a closer view on the back of the Tor, and the moon a bit higher. We were there for an hour and a half, drumming, making music, enjoying ourselves, rattling, being in ritual, being in meditation. It was a real spiritual, magical experience. So I was there, like I said, with my Druid brothers and sisters. 300 of us were present. 300. And on the Saturday, we had a lovely day. And the beautiful thing was I got to interview a friend of mine, JJ Middleway Howell, a Druid, a real Druid, an old Druid. He has been there for many years, and we were acquainted for many years. So we I have to have some technical issues here. Sorry, we're acquainted for many years, and sorry about this.
Am I back?
Oh, you're back. Good. Yeah, I was just telling that.
Oh my.
Yeah, well, these things happen, Luna. That's don't get mad about it.
Mercury retrograde.
Don't beat yourself up.
Apologies. I have no idea what happened.
Well, things do happen. You know that they can happen. That they will happen, and and it does. Mercury retrograde, and you're gone again. At least your camera is gone again. So I will start sharing the interview with JJ, and yeah, you might have to watch it back to see it. So here I go. JJ Howell, a long-standing Druid, one of the most well-known Druids in the Obot, because he does a lot of work for the Order of Bards, Ovids, and Druids. One thing, actually, we had the honor, my wife and I, to get to be handfasted by him 8 years ago. So a long friend, and I had one question for him. And here it comes. JJ, can you answer one question for me?
We'll find out.
Yeah. What's the significance of Glastonbury for Druids?
Gosh. I mean, that is so multi-level. The answers to that. The significance of Glastonbury to Druids. Well, first of all, there's the personal level. I've been coming over many years. often with my friend Adrian Brooke, as some of you know, but often with a whole range of friends. So it has this, it's a place of pilgrimage, a place to come to. There's a natural draw to it. If anyone's ever been, anyone who's ever been, it appears often out of the mist over the Somerset levels, and it's magical mountain, a hill with the Tor on the top, and it's really beautiful. And it draws me in, it draws everybody in. So there's a sense of pilgrimage. And then there's a sense of history, a sense of it being a place where people have met and gathered and celebrated ritually and in ceremony for probably millennia. I'm pretty sure for many thousands of years. There's some great newish research being done which shows it as a nematoma, a hill of sacred gatherings to the goddess, and there's the whole history of Avalon, the myth of the Avalonian orchard of sacred apples. And again, if you're on top of the Tor, especially a few weeks ago, after so much rain, and it was surrounded with water, an island, and it is the most magical place. So it has this sense of mystery, this sense of drawing in, a sense of congregation. It draws in. We'll be singing up there later today, and there is a magic in the air. So you can answer it just as the question, what is a Druid? You'll get 100 answers from the Druids. What is the significance as a Druid space of Glastonbury? There are a multitude of answers, but I know that it's a place of mystery, of magic, and it's a beautiful place to congregate and to celebrate and have ritual, and to just celebrate life and being with great friends, old and new. Thank you.
Thank you, JJ. That was wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you so much. So that was my friend JJ with a lovely story of why Avalon and why Glastonbury is so important. And Luna, it's good to have you back.
Hi. We are going live. Those things unfortunately happen, especially when you live in a rural area where I don't know what happened actually. But anyway, I'm glad to be back. I will have to rewatch the part I actually missed. Thank you for sharing that video. What is actually interesting to me is that you, him, and me, we said the same thing. Glastonbury is magic, mystical, and for those who are watching, if you've never been to Glastonbury, I absolutely recommend, because it's a place like no others. Absolutely out of this world. You don't have to be into spirituality or magic to just feel it and experience that on your own skin.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And there's so many places in Avalon, in Glastonbury we didn't talk about yet, and we're not going to do it in this in this setting. But there is so much there: the White Spring, the Abbey, the Tor, the shops, the magical, mystical shops, the small chapel, the chalice well, the grave of Arthur and Guinevere. It's just too much. Yeah. And that's why we as Druids, the Order of Bards, Ovids and Druids, where Mike Grove and me and my wife, we are members of, go there twice a year, 3 weeks before, or the first weekend in December most of the times, before the winter solstice, and the first weekend of June, a few weeks before the summer solstice, because we as Druids have to be home when the solstices and equinoxes are there, because that's when we have work to do. When we have work to do. So before that, we get together. This time we found a new venue nearby, Glastonbury, where we could host 300 of us. We had a magical, wonderful ceremony in the show in the snow or in the snow in the cold, just at sunset last Saturday. Afterwards, we had a lovely Eisteddfod, as we call it. An Eisteddfod is a gathering of bards, so poets, storytellers, singers. Of course, our main singer, Dave the Bard, is there. Look him up on Spotify or YouTube. His lovely songs. We were there Saturday night, and we had it. Very interesting gathering we had during the day. We had 3 interesting lectures about animism. We as Druids, most of us are not necessarily religious in the traditional way, but all of us can see the divine in a rock, in a mountain, in a river, in a building, in a tree, of course, in all the trees. And anything that exists lives. That's our definition of of animism. Anything that exists lives.
That's profound. I love the way you explained it. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and you can even pull that forward into any tradition, even if you, for instance, believe in a God the Creator. You can just say anything that exists is a creation of that divine. So it is imbued with the power and the energy and the love and the force of the divine. And we just say whether there's a creator or nature just creates or Big Bang creates, this is what we're part of, because we exist as well. So we live as well. So we're part of this creation. And we said, so we animate. That's why we call it animist. We animate anything into life. And that was the theme of the day. We discussed it, we studied it, and it was really, really interesting with the bunch. And we'll meet again in hopefully in half a year time in Glastonbury, of course, again.
Fantastic. 300 people, 300 Druids. That must have been an event. Wow.
Yeah.
If you don't mind asking me, Jan, how many times have you been to Glastonbury? Because it seems like a ritual for you.
Well, actually, I've been there for the first time in 2005, but I haven't been that many times. I think in the earlier years, I went maybe once every 3, 4, 5 years, and just the last years we've gone more often. So I think in total I might have been there 6 or 7 times. So within 1 year, you've caught up with me.
I know.
The speed at when you say in 1.5 years you did 4 or 5 times, well, another stint like that, and we're equal.
But that's the magic of Glastonbury. Once you go there, you just want to come back, and there is more and more to explore. Like even this conversation showed me so much I haven't experienced just yet, because I tend to go to my favorite places, but I love to discover something new and something I haven't been to.
Of course. Well, that's what we're doing. And they're exploring new things, exchanging ideas, exchanging memories. Like we call this. Today we would share memories of Glastonbury, which we did. Yeah. And there's so many. Yeah, and even the places you can stay in Glastonbury. You know, definitely go one time, even for a drink or some food. Go to the Georgian Pilgrims. It's the oldest purposely built hotel. They claim it's the oldest purposely built hotel in England, and and the oldest parts date from the 14th century and the rest from the 15th century, and it's a place of history. It oozes the atmosphere of an old castle. There's ghosts and hauntings there. There's a house ghost. We slept there this weekend. We 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 experienced
Wow.
both. Yeah. And it's for
Did you?
yes, we did. Yeah. And the lady who served our breakfast said, in 100 years, she will be the house ghost there.
Oh, wow. That's amazing how those people know.
Hey, what about maybe we could do some, you know, what connects us are the cards. So maybe we can do some cards. I have
Yeah.
for the occasion, I've brought my first deck.
First deck ever?
My first deck ever. It's from 1995.
Wow.
Legend, the Arthurian Tarot. Out of print for years. Last year, I saw someone selling their pack in good condition. Mine is the box is a bit loved, in good
It
condition.
has a history.
It has a history. I saw one on Amazon a year ago for about 400 euro, because it's out of
Wow.
print. It's no longer there, and it's a lovely deck. Comes with a good book, and this is the
It's a
deck.
treasure for
Yeah,
sure.
this is the deck I did my first readings with, and I hardly ever use it. I don't know why. I love because it will wear off, of course. But for today, I have some cards related to Glastonbury, and of course, God, if you remember my presentation, we were with the Horned God in the White Spring, and he's one of the cards in the deck, Carnunos. And
Oh,
of course,
wow.
yeah, he represents temptation, but also liberation, freeing yourself from like the ideas of other people, freeing yourself, motivating yourself to step out of your comfort zone, courageously go where you've never gone before, and rise from unhealthy situations. Free yourself. So that's what I want to give to everybody. If you're in an unhealthy situation, if you're oppressed, if you are afraid of showing your true self, I know from studies that a lot of people on the spiritual path, either as a witch, a shaman, or a druid, are afraid to go out and show themselves for who they are. You no longer need to do that. Just be yourself. Be your true self.
Yeah, thank you for that message. That was very deep. I'm actually amazed that they've chosen this image as what we know as a number 15, which is the devil.
The devil,
I'm
yeah.
fascinated. I can't wait to see this deck.
Well,
Have you got any other cards there?
yeah, of course. There's one card that carries the name of Avalon, and it's a judgment card, card number 20, which of course comes after, far after the devil in the sequence. But it's very good when you step out of your comfort zone. You end up your old life, your old oppressed life. You say, okay, enough is enough. I'm going on. I'm closing off this chapter of being locked down, of being oppressed, of not being my true self. I move on. I step out of the comfort zone. I end the situation. I find my purpose and embrace new developments and change. And I take full responsibility for the results of my actions.
I love the imagery on this card. First thing which came to me was the feminine energy, the energy of creation, of rising out of very often out of chaos. And she's there very strongly towards the heavens. So she knows that she's being supported, but she knows that her power comes from within. That's fascinating. I love this deck.
Yeah. What's even more beautiful there, you see the boat?
Yes.
Well, since this is the judgment card, this is the end the end scene of the movie Excalibur, probably a movie we'll discuss later, where King Arthur is mortally wounded and taken by the priestesses on a boat to the island of Avalon, where he's resting till Albion needs him again.
Mm,
Yeah,
interesting. This deck is fascinating. You know that I'm a tarot lover and I just love different decks. I've never came across this one. So for me, it's another treat tonight.
yeah, of course. So what do we get? What do we get when we step out of the comfort zone, when we start anew? Percival, the Fool, the Awakening. Percival is he could only find the Holy Grail because he asked questions, because he was the Fool. He was pure of heart. He was the virgin, born from a virgin mother, actually. Nobody knows who his father was then. But the legend goes that Percival was like Merlin, of fatherless, and he was pure of heart, and that's what allowed him to find the Holy Grail. That's how he found the Holy Grail, by being pure of heart and by asking the right questions. He found the right answers, and when you find the right answers in yourself, you're being reborn, you're reawakened, and you go on a journey as Percival. And when you're on the journey, when you've taken your responsibility, when you are the strong person who stands up for himself, you become Arthur. You become the emperor. You become the wise one, the powerful influence in your own life and in the life of others, the change maker, fair but strong. Fair but strong. Responsibilities, ambition, wisdom and power.
This is very powerful image.
The images are so strong there.
They are. I love how they combine the history with an actual meaning of the card and the symbol it brings.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Well, I can't wait to see the rest of those cards, to be honest with you.
Come and visit one day and I'll share them with you.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, how many tarot decks have you got?
Oh, that's a good question. Too much? Oh, no, you can never have too
There's
much.
no such a thing as too much.
No. But for instance, of the large Thoth deck, I have 4. 2 US games and 2 European versions. And why do I have 2 of each? I have 1 copy with borders and 1 copy cut with the borders cut off of both. Then I have 2 medium sizes and a small one, so that's 4 or 5. Just of the Thoth, I have 7. I have about 4 Tarot de Marseilles, and then I have another 20, 25 different tarot decks, from very ancient to very modern. My most modern deck is actually came last year after the rise of AI, and it's created with the help of AI. And I used it for a while.
Wow.
And it's tucked away now. It's not as strong as really imagery created by actual people.
The reason I ask it, because I know that there is some tarot lovers watching us. Yes. And one of my dear friends asked me, can you please make an episode when you would be talking about your favorite tarot decks? So hopefully in the future this will happen, because with so many decks of yours, and then pretty good collection of cards, that can be actually very interesting, because those who love tarot and those who love card decks, it's just a never-ending story, you know, yourself, that we could talk and talk about it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's fantastic. Well, I actually prepared few cards, few decks I got from Glastonbury as well. And today I want to share one of the most wonderful decks with the imagery of Glastonbury. You can see the hill and the tor here itself. It's by an artist named Cheryl Yambrach Rose. She actually lives in Glastonbury, and she designs cards, she designs the imagery, as well as she channels the messages through the cards. And I think you would like this deck as well, because there is a lot of imagery with knights, with Glastonbury itself. There is a big connection with Christ energy as well. Christ as most powerful healer. And I am actually being drawn to just pull a few cards. So let's see what is going to come out. It's hard to shuffle those, so perhaps I'll just do it this way. But I'm really curious and interested what will come out as a response. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. The portal is open. You mentioned the cold day when you were there, right? I hope my camera will pick on the image.
It might not, but
I'm not sure.
yeah. Now
I blame the Mercury.
Yeah. Oh, I see the mountain in the snow now. Yeah, that's lovely.
Yes, that's correct. And it says, tell us, the portal is open. And to me, what it represents is, do you remember when you said about those who are being afraid of being seen, that you are safe? This portal refers to the message you shared earlier, that it's time to just go through that portal and find ourselves on the other side. There is another image, which I can't share on the YouTube. Maybe I'll do it like this. It says, you hold in your heart a space to be filled. So it is very important right now. Sorry, I showed you the back of a car. To just enter the portal, which looks empty here, and fill it with whatever we want to create. And to me, maybe wintertime is not the time to create and make things happen according to the rules of nature, because right now we should go within. We should plant a seed and let it be in the darkness. So we should go within and ask ourselves, what is that we want to create? What is that we want to bring into this world? And right now it's a perfect time to ask those questions and step into that portal, step through fear, and just look within our hearts, because there is something which wants to be filled in. And speak your truth and express yourself. This is amazing. We talked about the chalice well, which is the image, the lion here. Hello, camera. Thank you.
I see it. Yeah.
This is the chalice well itself, where you can drink the water. It's from this one. I can see that it's losing the sharp. There it is. There it is.
Sharp. Yeah. I
see lovely. It. And we have the image of an angel, which to me actually that would be Mary Magdalene. Beautiful. And she's pouring the water. She's pouring the water down to the chalice well, which again to me represents the feminine energy of creation.
Is it a tarot card or is it an oracle card, Luna?
This is actually an oracle card. It's called Artful.
Oh yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I can see that as well.
Yeah.
And then again, the judgment card with the angel as well. That's how I would see this as well. Speak your truth, express yourself. This is very powerful, because that's what came with the first message you shared with us.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's something I want to share. This deck is not the deck I would use in my everyday reading or when I work with clients, but it's absolute treasure. It was gifted to me, and from time to time I really love to read those cards, especially around big events in terms of the wheel of year, around Sabbats, especially around winter solstice and summer solstice.
Got that. Yeah.
Beautiful image.
Very
And
good cards.
this is the back of the card itself. And for me, that is Goddess of Avalon itself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, my camera is not picking it on today, but I'm not surprised after what happened earlier.
Yeah, we were tormented by a bit of technical issues, but you know, we pulled it through again.
Exactly. And I think that's the message, that if we don't give up, but just keep persistently showing up and just push through obstacles, we will be on the other, and we will find ourselves on the other side of the portal where there is no fear, when there is
We will be
no judgment.
we will
Exactly.
be
And where we're gonna absolutely.
we're gonna rule. Yeah. That was lovely. That was lovely.
I just noticed a sand clock here, which I've never seen before. And this is a confirmation that time is now.
Time is now.
I'm actually gonna bring, because the number is 22, and for me 22 number is a significant number of manifesting and creating things. I just want to quickly go, if you don't mind, through the guidebook and see what is the message behind the telos. Ask permission to enter, leave all negative fears behind and go inside. It is time to learn more than you have gained from living in the 3D life school. Wow, it's amazing. For me, that just correlates with the full card and with the message you had earlier.
Yeah, it's complete.
That's fantastic.
It's completely complementary, and that's so lovely to do this and to find that, you know, to find this connection through space and time, and you're in your place, I'm in my place, and boom, there it is.
Yeah, the same message, but
cards come with a similar message, and or a complementary message, you know, they complement each other. The total story.
And I think it's very important to get this message across, because if the two messages are very similar, it means that there is somebody who really needs to hear it tonight. Bingo.
And I challenge anyone who gets the message to put this in the comment in these videos. And when you do so, and even if you don't, please subscribe to our channel, like the video. That will make us more visible and show us that you love to see it. And that's what we're doing it for ourselves, of course, and we're also doing it to share this with the world. So like and subscribe to our channel.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Luna, I think we're
Jan,
we're there for today.
Aww.
If you have anything to say, now's the time.
Now is the time. Yes, let's enter the portal. Thank you so much for sharing these wonderful stories and holding a space while I was drifting somewhere.
You did.
I don't know even where I was.
Doesn't really matter. You were here, and we made it work. So I'm looking forward to next week.
So do I. Next Monday, 8 o'clock.
Irish
we invite you to join us.
Luna and the Druid. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. Bye.